Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 24th of October 2019. Time is 4 p.m. here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDUSD daily chart. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups. Although it's unlikely we're going to find any that are viable until next week because it already is Thursday afternoon here. And normally we do Thursday morning webinars, which means we find setups that might be able to be entered before the end of the week. But with Thursday afternoon webinars, it's unlikely. So I'm thinking when we do these 4 p.m. webinars, we should do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday one instead of a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Makes a bit more sense. Anyway, we're going to do the analysis anyway because we're here. And there is some stuff to discuss in terms of the open setups that of trades that I shared earlier this week. We're also going to take a quick look at the news, see if there's anything left upcoming, which there clearly isn't. Friday there is nothing, and all the news has come out for today. Let's just take a quick look at next week, see what's in store for us. Whoa. Monday, Tuesday, almost completely dead. But then Wednesday, Thursday, and of course, Friday, because it is the 1st of November, we have the non-farm employment rolls, non-farm payrolls, non-farm employment change, now they're called. But yeah, non-farm payrolls here. But that's going to be quite a busy week. I love those busy weeks, though. Usually means we're going to get more movement in price and we're going to potentially get more trades. But we'll leave this for next week. I just wanted to take a quick peek at it, see what's coming up. We'll leave that for Tuesday's webinar. This week, what's left of it, there's nothing going on. So let's discuss the actual setup. So I shared a few setups earlier this week, quite a lot of setups actually. Many of them didn't trigger or were not entered for one reason or the other. It all filtered down really to AUDUSD, New Zealand CAD, although I can't remember if I actually shared New Zealand CAD in Tuesday's analysis. I might have only shared this one in Wednesday's members only analysis. Does anyone remember if I shared this one on Tuesday? I'm sure George, if he's here, can take a quick look on the forum for me. So AUDUSD, obviously, I entered this one. I mentioned that in yesterday's analysis. I also mentioned it in the forum. Got a decent enough entry for this one. It's gone quite well right now. Just waiting for it to push down to target. On the forum, I stated my target was around about here, which 0.6773, and it actually is there. But I'm thinking about if it hasn't reached my target by the end of the week, I'm thinking about closing out at around about my 1.5R, which would be roughly, can I get this right? Close enough, 0.67921. Now, I don't want to close out there. I might keep it open over the weekend, but I'm just throwing it out there as a potential possibility, something that I might do. I'll update you guys on the forum with how I handle this one, because I'm not going to decide until tomorrow afternoon anyway. So that's when I'll make my decision, and when I do, I'll let you guys know. Just depending on what I'm seeing from price tomorrow, depending on how it's moving, that's what's going to pretty much influence my decision. So it might be possible that I close out with 1.5R. Ideally, I want to close out with at least 2R. Even more ideally, I want it to smash through my my target, and I would have removed my target by that point, and then just keep going down all the way to the support area. So I can get out with like 3.4R, which would be fantastic. But let's not get too greedy. I'll just let this one run until tomorrow afternoon, where I'll assess what I'm going to do with it, and I might hold, I might close. I'll let you guys know. New Zealand CAD, this is another trade that was entered this morning. All right, so New Zealand CAD I shared with members only because on Wednesday we do Forex Mastermind members only analysis. So yeah, this one was shared with the members only. So this is another trade that's, I mean, this one's not going as well. It's just taking off really. A few people in this one. Just going to hold on to this one and let it run, let it do its thing. I think this one has potential to go all the way down to this support area because it is in a bit of a range right now. So I'm looking for price to hit the bottom of this range essentially. If it hits the bottom of this range, it'll be pretty good overall target, 2.2, 2.3 R. If anyone's in this one, just hold on. Same thing with AUDUS that I said with AUDUSD. I'll decide on Friday afternoon if I'm holding for the weekend. SECJPY, this is another trade I shared. I ended up entering this one as a demo trade because I haven't traded this pair before. I wanted to enter it with a bit of care. Entered it as a demo trade, and obviously this has been stopped out, so I'll drop it to the bottom of the list. It wasn't a great setup in the end. I just entered it because the way I do things, the way I introduce new pairs into my overall strategy is I take demo trades and I record them in a trading journal as if they are real trades. Sorry, not as if they are real trades. It's not like I pretend they are real trades. I just record them the exact same way I would record a real trade, but in a separate journal, right? I don't record it in my main trading journal. So I record all the data about the trades, and then I just kind of run some analysis on them and try to figure out if it's worth introducing this into my strategy. So I do this with a mix of demo trades and live trades with small position sizes. So I'll do a few demo trades to kick things off. There's no exact rule into how many. Let's just say I'll do 3 for SECJPY. After 3 demo trades, I'll probably do 3 or 4 live trades with a very reduced position size, let's say a quarter of my normal position size. And then I'll slowly build up from there. It takes quite a while, but I find that it's the best way to introduce new pairs into my strategy. Because at this point, the new pairs I'm introducing are usually pretty exotic pairs. So I don't want to just rush head into trading these exotic pairs with my full position size. That's why I do it that way. So I demo traded this. Obviously the trade failed, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop testing. It's just a single failed trade, so it doesn't really matter that much. EURUSD, this is another trade that I shared on Tuesday's analysis. I didn't end up entering this one myself because I was just too worried about Brexit. I just didn't like the idea of Brexit news interfering with this trade throughout the rest of this week and possibly next week if it was still open next week. This Brexit news is really heating up right now, so I was a bit worried that I would get in and then price would just swing in the other direction because someone said something about Brexit. So I stayed out of this one personally, but I've got it marked as green on my chart because I'm going to move this to where it was when I shared the trade. I've got it marked on my charting software because a lot of people who trade my strategy, especially people on the forum, have actually entered this one. So we've marked it as green just so we can keep an eye on it and see how it plays out. So it's going quite well right now. If you're in it, you may as well hold on to it. Euro New Zealand, this is a trade I think I shared yesterday, maybe on Tuesday. I haven't entered this one. Didn't close how I liked, so I didn't enter it. All right, let's look for some new setups. But like I said, a New Zealand USD is also a trade I shared that seems to be going well. I didn't enter this one because of poor risk to reward ratio though. So if anyone entered it, I mean, it seems to be going well, so you may as well hold on. I think CAD-JPY is another trade I shared. I didn't enter this one because of poor risk to reward ratio. If you entered this one, it would not have worked out. USDCHF is another trade I shared on Tuesday. Didn't enter this one because I didn't like how it closed. Had you entered it, it's still kind of progressing, so may as well hold on. GBP JPY is yet another trade I shared. I didn't enter this one because well, I can't really remember why. Probably because of risk to reward ratio not being that great. So yeah, I didn't really like this setup. Oh yeah, also obviously because of Brexit. Obviously, I didn't want to trade GBP with all this Brexit stuff happening. But if anyone's in this one, you may as well hold on because it seems to be pushing in your direction finally. Euro AUD, yet again another trade I shared on Tuesday's analysis. There was loads. I didn't enter this one because of Brexit. Didn't want to enter Euro pairs because of Brexit. If you're in this one, it seems to be going okay. Not fantastic. It has shot up and then pulled back, but it seems to be going okay. So you may as well hold on to this one too. So yeah, most of the trades I've shared seem to be kind of progressing pretty well, but I only ended up entering, as I said, AUD, USD, New Zealand CAD, because I've filtered out the rest, just for various reasons, which I've discussed. I don't think I talked about AUDJPY, actually. For some reason, I think I skipped this. I didn't enter AUDJPY myself because I think it's pretty much the same trade as AUDUSD. And I decided to go for AUDUSD because I thought it was the safer bet in this case. But if you're in AUDJPY, it's finally moving in your direction, so you may as well hold on to it. Oof, that was a lot of setups to discuss from earlier this week. Let's look for some new setups. And I think there's some setups in here that were from earlier this week that I've already forgotten about. If there is, sorry, but let's look for some new setups real quick. There's some pretty solid minor resistance here. The price is bouncing from. AUDCAD, do watch out for indecision forming on top of the support area, particularly in the lower time frames. So we might see some indecision forming on support on the 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, and that could give you a potential long trade. I would only really target up until this minor resistance area for that long trade. I'm probably not going to trade this one myself. It's just something I'm pointing out that you might want to think about. Potential long trade from support on the lower time frames. AUD New Zealand, similar thing if you want to go for it to AUD CAD, but this one's closer to actually happening right now. Got some minor resistance up here, got price bouncing from there recently, so there could be a potential long here up to that minor resistance area. I'm probably not going to trade that myself, but just a heads up, guys. Did I share EURUSD earlier in the week? No, this one had an atrocious risk to reward ratio. But yeah, if you're in that, just hold on. I don't even know why I'm bothering to look at the GBP. Yeah, I may as well look at them actually. Not going to trade them, so it's wasted time, but at least I know what's happening on those charts now. This is interesting. I'll discuss this in a second. Got some interesting stuff happening on gold right now. It's forming into a bit of a... I never remember what these are called exactly. These triangular shapes. Because there's ascending, descending, and... Well, I think the other one's symmetrical or something like that. This one's just broken out of the triangle though. This is definitely not my strong suit though, these triangle things. people like to think, because I've been trading for, what is it now, 17 years, that I know everything there is to know. You can't believe how many emails I get from people saying, oh, I'm trading this strategy, I don't know, upside down brown strategy, whatever, just making up a name here. I'm sure you know about it. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about it. I mean, there's like 10,000 trading strategies out there. I don't know every single one. I barely know a lot of chart patterns that a lot of newbie traders know, because I've never used them. Therefore, I've never bothered to learn them. There's a lot I don't know in terms of strategies, and I'm not making myself sound very, very experienced here, but it's the truth, guys. There's a lot I don't know about chart patterns and strategies, even though chart patterns are pure price action, because it's never the style of price action that I traded. So forgive my lack of experience with triangles and the proper names for these things. I know the general ideas of trading these types of patterns. It's just I don't really have much experience in the actual trading of them. I've taken very few actual trades, real live trades, using these kinds of chart patterns. That being said, if you're a member of the full course and you're in the chat room, you'll have seen that we're starting to use these on the lower timeframes, trading 30-minute charts with these triangles, and it does work quite well. So I am starting to expand into this, and I'm going to take that into the higher timeframes eventually. So I do like seeing these things and keeping track of them, even though I'm not trading them live right now, because I feel that they are going to be a part of my overall strategy in future. And it's never bad to learn new things, especially when you're experienced in the industry or you're experienced as a trader. When you add these new things, it's not like a complete newbie trying to learn them, because you already know how to trade. You're just adding some new skills to your arsenal, and the skills you already have kind of help you learn these things very, very quickly and put them into action very quickly in a profitable way. So this is something I'm interested in, something I'm going to start trading. Point is, we do have a breakout here, which is quite interesting. It's a bit late to enter. I'd already like to be in this one if I was going to trade this live. It's a bit late to enter, but it does look like we could get a push up to this resistance area here on gold, which might have actually been a halfway decent trade. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pretend that I entered here, just for my record keeping of these kinds of moves. I'm going to pretend that I entered somewhere like here. I'm going to write this down in a trading journal, that way I can track these kinds of setups. And I'm going to have a target of about 1 to 3, which is about here. So I'll mark this one blue, that way I can come back to it. We have a similar thing happening on silver. I know this is not really the analysis you guys are here to watch, because it's not really tangible in the sense of, no, tangible is not the right word. It's not something that you can put into action right now. It's not something that you can trade right now, because it's just stuff that I'm testing. So it might not be very interesting, but I'm doing it, so I'll just finish it up, and then we'll wrap up this webinar. Oh, New Zealand CAD was shared on Tuesday? Damn it, George. Misinformation. What are you here for? All right, well then everyone saw the New Zealand CAD setup on Tuesday. Cool. This one would have been tougher to enter. You would have had to drop down. Nah, not even. This one would have caught you by surprise. Most people, I would imagine. Or at least the way I trade these kinds of triangles. The way I've started to practice trading them. So this one I won't pretend to have entered because I probably would not have got an entry on this one. But I certainly would have gotten an entry on gold the way I trade these triangles. So I'm going to put this here and treat it as if it was a demo trade. Just so I can put it into my journal and track how this new addition to my strategy is going to work out over the long haul. This is the first step in the process of sharing the setups with you guys as additions to the course, because I only like to share stuff I've thoroughly tested myself. So this is the first step towards that. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Are there any questions, guys, or shall we wrap this analysis up? Oops. Oof, just made a new low on the hourly. Nice. That is what I like to see. This low happened literally just now in the last 5-minute candle. We're getting a new low. We're seeing a push down from sellers on AUDUSD. This is what we like to see when we're in a short position. We like to see sellers pushing down. New Zealand CAD's also making a new low. I just saw it drop down right now. Oh, actually, no, it's not a new low. It was a bit deceptive, but it's quite close to a new low. Probably going to make it right now. There it goes. Barely, but there it goes. I take it EURUSD is, yes it is. EURUSD is making new lows. AUDJPY not quite. It's lagging behind. Oh, I forgot to discuss USDCHF, guys. I was rambling on about triangles and stuff, and I forgot to discuss USDCHF. But there's not really much happening on USDCHF. I've marked this because there's a potential short coming up next week. So we get to discuss this one further on Tuesday's analysis. Basically, just waiting for price to push up to here and then push back down. So yeah, there's nothing really much to consider here. Just something that I'm marking for Monday or Tuesday has potential. So we need price to push up to here, form indecision, and that means the earliest possible entry for this one would be Monday, but more likely Tuesday. ADNK, all I said was if we're going to do evening webinars from time to time, not every week, but from time to time, if we're going to do evening webinars from time to time, it makes more sense to do the evening webinar on Monday, Tuesday, the evening webinar weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because webinars like this one on Thursday evening are not of great use to you guys, because we're looking primarily at the daily charts in these analysis webinars. By the time these setups trigger, we haven't really found any good setups today because we've found so much on Tuesday. But let's imagine we found like 4 or 5 good setups today. By the time those setups actually trigger, it's probably going to be either Friday afternoon, which you don't want to be entering a new trade on Friday afternoon, or more likely Monday morning or Monday London session open, kind of like that. So it's better to do the webinars on Wednesday evening. That way the analysis is more useful to you. because I do want to do some of these evening webinars. At least once per month, we'll do a week of evening webinars. That way more people get a chance to attend live instead of doing them at 10 a.m. every single week. But yeah, we'll experiment, we'll figure things out. Yeah, I did mention it previously. I said that I'm going to assess on Friday, I would say around about lunchtime or early afternoon, where these trades are, what they're doing, and if it makes sense to hold over the weekend. Ooh, that is a big drop. Nice, nice, nice. We are seeing some nice moves in our direction. Across the board, guys, across the board. Even AUDJPY is now making a new low, which is fantastic. EURUSD, for those of you who jumped in on this one, it's moving towards target. All looks really good. No problem, Ali. But I feel kind of like you shouldn't be thanking me, because the only reason this is happening is because I got back from my short holiday on I think it was Monday evening, and I was hanging out with a baby my whole holiday, my new nephew, and babies, as I'm sure anyone with kids knows, and I only learned because I was hanging out with a baby, I don't have kids, that they're like germ factories. They just stick everything in their mouth. The baby made me sick, so I couldn't do a Tuesday morning webinar because I was really, really sick. But luckily it only lasted about 12 hours. Whatever that disgusting baby gave me only lasted 12 hours, so ended up being okay enough to do it in the afternoon. Luckily, because I set it for the afternoon hoping that I would have been a bit better by then. So the point is, this was a bit of an accident, but this accident has led to the idea of doing this on purpose in future, because it does make sense to give a lot more people the option of attending these live. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now, guys. I don't believe there's any questions. I'm going to call an end to this webinar. I've laid out, well, I haven't really laid out a game plan for AUDUSD New Zealand CAD, but they are moving well. If you don't have access to the forum, I would just suggest holding these over the weekend if they continue to push down. For those of you who have access to the forum, I'll update on the forum and let you know how I'm going to handle these trades. So yeah, thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you for next week's webinars, which should be Tuesday at 8 a.m. unless anything changes.